Hello, man. What is up? Who do you think is going to win between Alex Pereira and Ankalaev in their rematch? Who do you got? It's obvious. It's obviously isn't Ank. They're wrestling. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping Alex Pereira wins. Just because I think he's a more entertaining fighter than Ankalaev. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done. I really hope he does, though. Just the threat of the takedown. But I think if Alex doesn't worry about it as much and just opens up a bit on the feet, he might be able to get it done. But that might also lead to him just getting taken down since he's not worrying about it as much. Because he showed a good takedown defense in their first fight they had. Like Ankalaev didn't get any takedowns. But it's a tricky one because they can both make adjustments to win. So it's just who makes the better adjustments. How about who's the co-main event to that? Oh, Marab versus Corey Sandhagen. Who do you think's gonna win that one? That's a tough one. I think Marab's gonna get it done, and I want him to win. But I can just see Corey Sandhagen somehow fluking it and like getting a flying knee. Corey's striking is really he does have super good striking, but he just doesn't really have like finishing potential, which you kind of need against Marab. We saw Sean do it. Sean do what? But oh, like Sean fluke a win? I hope Marab wins though. Because Corey Sandhagen just kind of loses to every guy in the top 5. I meant how Sean didn't do it. Yeah. Like, if Sean O'Malley can't do it, if Sean O'Malley can't knock out Marab, I don't think Corey Sandhagen can do it. And that's why I think if he does do it, it's going to be a fluke. So I hope he doesn't get a fluke knockout. Although I am interested to seeing how Marab deals with Corey Sandhagen doing that somersault roll thing he does when someone tries to take him down. He like does a Grammy roll kind of. I am interested to see on how Marab deals with that, but I'm sure he'll be able to do it. Even though he has power and precision, I mean Sugar. Yeah, I think Sugar Sean is a way better striker and has more finishing potential than Corey Sandhagen, and he wasn't even able to do it. So I don't know if Corey will be able to do it. How about between who do you think's gonna win between Yuri Prohaska and Khalil Roundtree? But Sugar is a bit basic. Sugar Sean is kind of basic. What? He's not basic. I would just say Corey Sandhagen is more. Corey Sandhagen will just throw more stuff at you, kind of. Like Sugar Sean, you kind of need to worry about like the hands, the feet, and like the knees, but like barely. But Corey Sandhagen, you kind of have to worry about like a knee up the middle, like a good timed jumping knee. I want Yuri to win. I also want Yuri to win, and I hope he does. If Yuri gets flatlined, Marab gets flatlined, and Pereira gets flatlined, that's gonna be the saddest event ever. Even worse than when Oliveira got flatlined. Yes, Corey is like a Muay Thai, but Sugar is like more of a boxer. Yeah. Corey, you just kind of have to look out for the tricky. He'll throw some tricky stuff at you. Whereas Sugar Sean's more. Sugar Sean's super good, and I don't like calling him basic, but he just mastered the basic attacks kind of. Whereas Corey Sandhagen, you have to watch out for like a random elbow or a knee. But I don't know. Also, I haven't seen many Corey Sandhagen fights. How is his cardio? Like, is it better than Sugar Sean's cardio? I was rooting for Ilya even though I am a big BJJ fan and I have been doing BJJ for 2 years. Yeah, I was rooting for Oliveira. But it is what it is. Ilya's cool. Just not as cool as Oliveira. And it just would have been cool to see him get the belt back. Does cardio mean anything against Merab? True. But I'm just wondering, is he gonna slow down sooner than Sugar Sean? Because like with the Umar fight, with the Umar fight, Umar arguably took the first 2 rounds off Merab. But then the second he started slowing down, that's when Merab really started to like push the pace. So like, it's just a matter of, I don't know though. Merab is finishing people. He finished Sugar Sean. If he starts finishing people, that might just be insane. He might be unstoppable if he actually gets chokes in. I'm curious to see how he performs. Imagine he gets like a knockout over someone. I thought it would have been funny if he knocked out Sugar Sean in their rematch. Sugar Sean would have had to retire after that. If that happened, there's no way he keeps going. Being known as the guy who got knocked out by Merab. And to be fair, Merab was catching Sugar Sean with some good shots. Like, he was kind of stinging Sean. Wasn't hurting him, but he was stinging him with some nice punches. What other? Like, you can't tell if Corey's cardio will be good since no one fights like Merab. You know, like, if a boxer goes, yeah, that's true. Corey's not fighting someone who's constantly shooting for a takedown. That's true. Do you like Merab? Some people call him boring. He is on the more boring side, but I kind of like this. It's just kind of insane to watch every single time you think he's going to get tired, but then he just doesn't, and he just breaks his opponent. And no one that Corey faced shoots as much as Merab. Yeah. I wonder what's going to happen on that fight. I have a hot take. What's your hot take? Let's see if it's super hot. Let's hear it. Oh. Don't know what happened there. I enjoy grappling more than striking. Damn it. You know what? Yeah, you're a grappler yourself. You know what? I somewhat agree with you. I think if you I'm a fan of both, but there's just something about watching two like high level grapplers just go at it and they're like rolling around the octagon. They're doing like switches on each other and like reversing each other. Like Aljamain Sterling versus Evloev, that was an entertaining fight, even though it was 90% grappling. I enjoyed that fight. Striking is super entertaining too, but there's just something different about in grappling. It's also probably because when they're grappling, like I've seen a clip and I saw a Mighty Mouse like levitates to get back to his feet. It was kind of insane. I've got a hot take as well that has to do with something kind of like this. I think submissions are more exciting than knockouts. Hear me out. Because with a knockout, it's just a knockout is so sudden. A knockout is so sudden, it's kind of anticlimactic sometimes. Because like, oh, he just kind of uppercutted him. But with a submission, if it's like an important fight, you get more of the there's no submission by chance. That's true. But with a submission, there's more of a build up. So you can be like, oh, he's going for the submission. And then when he gets it, and he's like, it's under the neck. It's more like an event. Like you go through different stages of excitement. With a knockout, it's kind of like he just knocked him out. Like knockouts are cool, but something about a submission is just so. It's just different, you know. It builds the thrill. It does. Because you can't get excited with a knockout unless it's like the guy's like wobbling all over the place, and then you're like just swinging back. Like a flatline KO, yes, they're cool, but I think the submissions are just. But knockout can hype you up for days. That's true. If you like the guy you're fighting, and he just knocks someone out, and you just think about that, you can get hyped. I had a dream before the Pereira and Ankalaev their first fight between Pereira and Ankalaev, and I had a dream that Alex Pereira submitted Ankalaev with a rear naked choke. I was so happy in my dream. I was like, yes! And then I woke up. I was like, oh no, this isn't good. And then he lost. But hopefully, I really hope he wins the rematch. That's what we call a. No. It wasn't that bad. It was just. I don't know. I always have dreams right before the event of them fighting. And then it's never a good sign because it's either the guy I want to win loses, and then it's like, oh no, the guy I want to win just lost in my dream. He's going to lose in real life. But then if he wins, it's like, I'm probably just going to be wrong. Because whenever I bet, I've only made $2 while betting. $2. And it was on Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. I bet $20 on Alex, and I got like my $20 back plus $2. It was a pretty worthless bet, but I got $2 out of it, and then I've lost like $30 since. I think even more than that. Every time I bet, I just lose. I've got to turn that around. I have to win a bet by the end of the year, but I don't know who to bet on. I wanted to like be an underdog, but I don't know. I bet on Oliveira. He got knocked out. I bet on Jan Blachowicz to beat Carlos Olberg, and he did beat him, but they robbed him. And then there's a few other I've bet on. I bet on Pereira Ankalaev. I think it's because Pereira was an underdog, which I thought was kind of insane. But then he leveled up to be the favorite, I think, towards the. I got my little brother to watch MMA, and I teach him BJJ, and I showed him Oliveira, and he goaded him, and that made me super hyped for Ilya, cause yeah, I got my friend into MMA, and it was around like the same time that Charles was gonna fight Ilya, and Charles is my favorite fighter, Oliveira was my favorite fight. Is my favorite fighter. So I'm like, dude, you have to look at these Oliveira fights. And then I make him an Oliveira fan, pretty much, because I showed him all the awesome fights he had. And then I pretty much made Oliveira his favorite fighter just to see him get knocked out in the first round by Ilya. It kind of backfired, but you know what? Oliveira is coming back in October against Fiziev. And he's going to knock Fiziev out, hopefully. Hopefully, Oliveira doesn't get knocked out. That would be terrible if he does. Nothing's been working out this year, though. So chances are Oliveira is going to get knocked out. He's probably going to get dropped, and then he's just going to follow up shots. Or he's just going to get flatlined again. Which I hope he does not get flatlined again. I can't do it again. I can't watch another Oliveira fight where he gets knocked out. I was telling him all month that Charles won't win by any chance. He had no idea his wrestling isn't that good. Fiziev isn't him. Hopefully Fiziev isn't him. But what? But it's all Fiziev. If Oliveira didn't just get knocked out, I would be saying Oliveira's gonna crush him. But it's the fact that Oliveira just got knocked out that I'm scared that Fiziev might just win. Yeah, Oliveira's wrestling. It's really been like his... Like, he's good at striking, good at jiu-jitsu. But his wrestling just isn't that good. It looked good in the Michael Chandler fight. But that was Michael Chandler, so... Yeah, I wish his wrestling... Okay, Islam invited him to Dagestan, I think. Oliveira should have went to Dagestan for 2 or 3 years. Or not, maybe not that long. But go to Dagestan, train with those guys for a little bit. And then just get good wrestling. And then if Oliveira had super good wrestling, he'd be unstoppable. Oliveira beats all the top 15 except from Islam and Ilya. Yeah, I think, I'm probably biased, but I think there is a scenario where he beats Ilya and Islam. I would have liked to see the Islam versus Makhachev 2 fight, because I was watching the first fight they had, and a lot of people discredit it because it's like, oh, Islam just choked out Oliveira. But Oliveira did some stuff in that first round. First of all, he got up when he wanted to against Islam, which, who does that? Who gets up when Islam's on top of them? And then he went underneath Islam when they're on the ground. And then he kind of got the back, but they were standing up a little. And he almost got a triangle like 2 times in the fight. He was doing some work. I wish we got to see them fight again, but Oliveira got cut. Do you think Michael Pereira beats Dariukas? I'm pretty unfamiliar on who Dariukas is. But considering Michael Pereira gasses out after 3 punches, I'm just going to assume Michael Pereira is going to lose this one by decision. I see a lot of people complaining about, or I don't know, not so much anymore, but people were saying that Oliveira is scared to fight Islam. But I don't think he was that scared, because they were like, oh, he faked a cut. I don't think he faked it, because that cut, I swear he gets cut above the eye in like every single one of his fights. It happened against Michael Chandler in their first fight. Then it got opened when he fought Justin Gaethje. And then when he fought Islam, he even got a cut like in the same spot. And then when he fought Ilya, he got the same cut over his eye. I think he probably just has scar tissue there, and it's like a lot weaker. But I would have liked to see that rematch where Oliveira isn't being a dumbass and running towards Islam. A more patient Oliveira, I think, could have got the job done. But who knows? I don't think Oliveira title shot was deserved. It wasn't. But I'm pretty sure they also told him that he would get a title shot if he beat Michael Chandler. And at the same time, there was no one else to give it to. You're not going to give it to Patty. You're not going to give it to Justin Gaethje. Arman Tsarukyan would have had it if he didn't pull out. If Arman Tsarukyan didn't pull out in the fight with Islam, he probably would have gotten... Or if he fought Gamrot when they offered him Gamrot, and then won that, they probably would have gave him Ilya. But no, I don't know. I don't think Arman deserves a title shot at all. You're being too much of a little bitch about it. Saying he wants a title shot, like you've done nothing. The last time he fought was UFC 300. Since then, Oliveira's is going to be fighting 3 times, and he just got knocked out in his last fight, and he's already coming back before Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan just thinks he's bigger than the UFC bit. Oh, Patty the baddie. When I heard Michael Chandler say that, I was like, damn, he's gonna lose this fight. I wanted Michael Chandler to win that one, but then he didn't because, you know, it's Michael Chandler and he loses everything. Oliveira shouldn't fight before 226. I agree. Or he should have waited until like December and fought Max Holloway. But then Max Holloway got his hand injured, so then he couldn't fight. But I would have liked to see Oliveira versus Max Holloway, the rematch. That would have been a good one. It is kind of scary because 155, lightweight Max Holloway is terrifying because he kind of just casually beat Justin Gaethje and Dustin. He got dropped in both fights, but he did destroy them for the rest of the round. That Dustin fight was sad with Max Holloway. As soon as Dustin got dropped, I was like, damn, man. He's not winning this. And then Max just kind of schooled him for the next 3 rounds or 5 rounds. I didn't think he was going to beat Max Holloway, though. And then I made a video on it, and so many people were like, dude, you're an idiot. Dustin's going to knock out Max. Looks like I was right. The one time I was right. And then every other time I'm wrong. I think someone taps 1, he will tap anytime. I think if someone taps 1, he will tap. What do you mean by that? Oliveira is a... Oh, we're going to start a fight, me and you, man. Wait, was Oliveira a quitter back in the day? Yes, he was. But I don't think you can call him a quitter anymore, because if he was a quitter, he would have quit against Michael Chandler in the first fight when Michael Chandler destroyed him in the first round. He destroyed Oliveira in that first round, and then he came back and won. And then he got destroyed by Justin Gaethje in the first round, and then later in the first round, he came back and won. I don't think he's a quitter. I just think Islam's squeeze is probably just so insane. And he just tapped. Also, what the hell was the ref doing? Because I saw a video, and Oliveira literally tapped like 15 times before the ref stepped in. That ref should have been there way sooner. I don't know. I just think... I don't know, because Oliveira was doing good on the ground against Islam. I hate being an Oliveira fan. I don't actually, but... I feel like there's so many times where I'm just like, if you just did it this way, you would win. Because he has so much skill, super good striking, super good jiu-jitsu. Wrestling's a bit iffy, but he has it on him. So when faces the top of the top, he will quit. I don't think he quits. I think he gets like discouraged. I think a thought of doubt gets put in his head sometimes. And he's like, oh damn, I might not win this. And then that just leads to him losing. I think that's what it is. But I don't think he's like, okay, I'm just gonna tap now. I don't think he's actively quitting. He's like John? Like John Jones? Or who? Who else is John he? Doubts himself a lot. Who's Joan? Like John Jones? Johnny Bones Jones. Yeah. Does he doubt himself a lot? I know he's a little bitch that ran away from Tom Aspinall, but I guess he doubted himself against Tom Aspinall. John Jones fans are actually insane. It's insane that they support him and they're like, dude, he didn't run from Tom Aspinall. When there's so many clips online where it's very clear he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. He said he'd rather fight Jamal Hill than Tom Aspinall. Like, what is even that? You can see it when he said it to DC. I haven't seen the clip, but yeah. It's a shame we're never going to see John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I beat you after a month of cocaine. John Jones is an idiot too, man. He just blatantly like exposed himself so many times. He's like, I beat you the first time off of steroids. So then the second time you did beat him on steroids. Then he says the whole cocaine thing. DC honestly was like destroying him in the trash talk. I think John Jones has some terrible trash talk. And there's that one time where that female reporter was like, how come your events outside the octagon are overshadowing the events inside the octagon once again? And then he's like, better journalism, better journalism. And he says that like 15 times. And that's the only thing he says. We need that lady back in the UFC to ask them questions. But I can tell you right now, after she said that, she was never seen again. He always gives himself an excuse before getting into the octagon. That's true. He's like, I partied the weekend before my fights, so I have an excuse. It's insane people are like, yeah, he parties a week. He's a family man. Why doesn't he just spend time with his family and be like, I'm fighting for these guys? But no, he just goes to parties and does cocaine and beats women. I think he's been to a Diddy party. I made 2 videos on it. Both pretty much the same videos, but my first one didn't get a lot of views. But then the second one did all right. Not super good, but he said he was afraid of Rampage, and I did see that too. He said he was afraid and kept getting knocked out in his dreams. He canceled a card out of fear. What card did he cancel? Which one was that? The Chael Sonnen one. John Jones was scared of Chael Sonnen. I mean, to be honest, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be scared of Chael Sonnen? I think I just got poisoned or something. Someone's putting freaking poison in my air. He wasn't scared, but he thought. Yeah, he should have. Like what Islam said, if you're the best in the UFC, it doesn't matter who's standing across from you in the octagon. You will beat them. John Jones ran from Chael Sonnen, and we won't talk about the rematch. I didn't study this guy. I didn't learn everything he does. Dude, if you're the best in the UFC, just beat him. Just beat him. That's why he was afraid. Yeah. I think he also said because he was originally gonna fight Ben Henderson, I think it was, or Henderson. I don't know which one, but he was supposed to fight him. Then he pulled it out. And then Chael Sonnen was good friends with him. So John Jones thought, like, oh, they're trying something. But, like, take away all the memes. I don't know what Chael Sonnen could do to beat John Jones. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any scenario where he beats John Jones. He had that doubt. That's why he quit. Yeah, John Jones is a quitter. And he got his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped by Dominic Reyes. Every time I watch that fight, I'm always like, okay, there can't be, like, every time I watch that fight, I'm like, John Jones had to have won it because so many people are certain of it. But then I watch the fight and I'm like, no, he gets his ass whooped in the first 3 rounds. In the first round, he gets destroyed. In the second round, he gets beat. Like, he loses that round. And then the third round was close, but he still lost it. Oh, but Dominic Reyes ran away in championship rounds. So championship rounds mean more than other rounds. Dominic Reyes won 3-2. And they robbed him. But I'm happy to see Dominic Reyes get back in that win column. It was sad to see him get knocked out by Blachowicz and Yuri. That Yuri knockout was insane. The spinning elbow. By the way, this is probably going to be a shorter stream because like I can be live for another 30 minutes, which actually isn't even that much shorter. I had Yuri to win against Alex the first time. I thought Yuri was going to be... I started watching the UFC. I started paying attention at UFC 299 or 297. That's when the UFC piqued my interest. And then UFC 300 was when I actually started to watch the events. So I think I missed the Pereira Yuri for their first fight. But in their second fight they had, I thought Yuri was going to win. I was terrified because he was winning the first fight up until he got knocked out. So I was like, oh no, man. He's going to knock out Alex Pereira. But then I also liked Yuri, so I didn't even mind that much. Because I like Alex a lot more now, but Alex just destroyed him. Alex crumbled Yuri in that fight. Crumbled him. As soon as that fight started, and Alex Pereira was like jumping around the octagon kind of, and he was throwing leg kicks and he was just doing his thing, I was like, it's wrap. Yuri is getting knocked out. And that's what happened. I was in the movie theater when I watched that fight. I was watching a movie. And then from the fight, I think I had a massive adrenaline dump, and I fell asleep during the movie. But the movie was boring as hell. I didn't like the movie. It was super boring. I had very long hair. I betted that if Alex wins against Yuri, I'll shave it. That did not work out for you then. And the rest is history, yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to shave. I'm not going to get my hair super long. But I don't think there's a moment in my life where I'm going to shave it. What are your thoughts on... Who do you think would have won between Khabib versus Oliveira? My answer might be a little obvious. Yes, that's why I don't like Alex, his personal beef. That's understandable. Understandable. Personal beef. Once. It's so fun. I feel like Yuri would be a good champion. But his style just doesn't work against Alex Pereira. And Alex figured him out, so. And Alex fought kind of weird in the first fight. He was constantly on the back foot. But then in the second fight, he was pressing Yuri a lot more. Khabib easy, buddy. Let me tell you, Oliveira is winning that fight. Let's make it yellow for this conversation. For Oliveira. Oliveira is winning that fight, man. And I'll die on that shield. Isn't it pretty convenient that Khabib retired as soon as he would have had to fight Charles Oliveira? Just saying, Oliveira was on the rise. Khabib retired. Never fought anyone with an elite ground game, such as Charles Oliveira. He is so weird. You want to know more of him? The whole samurai stuff in the forest thing? Yeah. I want to see Yuri Prohaska move down to middleweight. Because apparently he barely cuts weight for light heavyweight. So if he just cut a little bit more weight and move down to middleweight, I think he would do good. I'd want to see him versus Izzy. That'd be a good fight. I don't know if Izzy would win though, because Yuri would be pressuring him hard. Bro, his father thing is real. What father thing? Yuri's? What's Yuri's father thing? Bet Hamza kills him on the ground. He'll try. He'll certainly knee his thigh for 25 minutes. Damn. There's so many fun fights down at middleweight for Yuri. Him versus Dricus would be fun. But I don't think we'll ever see that. I also think Dricus would probably win. I think he'd kick Yuri in the head. Because Yuri just has his head like this constantly. And Dricus has good head kicks. I mean, Khabib, when he retired because his dad. Oh, that. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure. Also, he retired right after he got $20 million from Putin. I'm just saying a lot of things lined up with him retiring, not just his dad dying. His dad dying certainly had a part of it. But I'm just saying. I think he missed weight in that Justin Gaethje fight, in his last fight. And they covered it up. Because the UFC does that. The UFC covers up if their superstar misses weight. So always those Dagestanis. Him and DDP is the craziest matchup. I agree. But I just see Yuri getting head cut in a head kick. It's like street beat thing. Dricus is good. Yeah, but Ducky and Oliveira isn't one of them. Yeah, probably not, but I don't know. I just think Oliveira has what it takes. He wouldn't really fear the takedown. He'd probably land a couple of good shots on Khabib. And we just never saw Khabib fight someone with super good ground game, you know? Like, yeah, Oliveira did lose to Islam, but I think Islam is better than Khabib. Because with Islam, you have to worry about getting knocked out. But with Khabib, you just can't have to worry about he's going to shoot a takedown. I think it would be an interesting fight. But you never know. I want to see Michael Chandler fight again. even though he's probably gonna lose. Despite Michael Chandler being a like super dirty fighter, I like him. I think you're really going hard on the Dagestanis. I'm not going hard on them, but Islam's the only cool one. I'll just say that. Khabib, he was all right, but there is, if you look into Khabib, there is stuff that's pretty shady, and he was less entertaining than Merab. I'll also say that. Hamza just kind of arrogant. I don't really like him that much. And plus his last performance, are you kidding me? Doing that? Ankalaev, loser. Who likes him? Who else is there? Umar. I don't like Umar. I didn't really mind Umar, but as soon as Merab beat him and he was like, I think I won that fight. I had a broken hand. I broke my hand in the very first round. In the first punch I threw, I broke it. As soon as he started spitting out excuses, I was like, this guy cannot handle a loss. Whereas Islam is the only guy that actually fights people. Like, he fought Volk, Oliveira, Poirier. But Khabib's wrestling is like Hamzat. That's hard to figure. It's another thing. Yeah, but with Khabib, it's just pretty much if you get taken down, you're not standing back up. But Oliveira would stand back up because he escaped from Islam. I really like him. I'm Muslim, by the way. By the way, I was thrilled watching Hamzat. What did you want Hamzat to win? You probably wanted Hamzat to win. But okay. I understand finding it exciting if the guy you want to win wins. Like if Oliveira did that to Ilya. If Oliveira did that exact same thing to Ilya, I'd be hyped for Oliveira. But at the same time, I'd be like, come on, man. It kind of was a boring fight. Like, he couldn't take any risks. And I think that's the same towards Hamzat. Like, yeah, you can be hyped for him, but, like, Hamzat literally took 0 risks in that fight and made it boring. Dricus also kind of made it boring, but Hamzat made it super boring. He did nothing. Yeah, you're a grappler. Yeah, but, like, that wasn't even entertaining grappling. That was not entertaining grappling. And I know how hard it is. Yeah, but man, Hamzat's just so strong. You can just get the body lock, drag you back down. He just held on to Dricus for like 23 minutes. And then Dricus got on Hamzat's back and almost finished the fight. Dricus was closer to finishing that fight than Hamzat was. Hamzat had Dricus in multiple crucifixes in the fight, and he did nothing with them. He just did his little love taps. What did you think of Aaron Pico's... Or first, what do you think of MVP as a fighter in general? Also, what happens to the screen when I do this? I'm doing it right now. Does anything happen, or is it the exact same thing? I need to know that. I think Hamzat is stubborn and might take it to the 5th to prove a point, especially when you see what he told Chael. What did he tell Chael Sonnen afterwards? I didn't watch any interview after because I was pissed off by it. Do it again so I can tell you. I'm doing it as we speak right now. What do you guys see? I'm not doing it anymore, by the way. Is it just the same thing? I'm just recording on my phone and I'm sliding down to see the time. I think all like the screen pops up and stuff. Yeah, what do you think of MVP, Michael Venom Page? I think he's the most entertaining, boring fighter in the UFC. Do you know what I mean? Like he's entertaining. He's a boring fighter, but he's entertaining at the same time. If that makes sense. It was bugging. Like it just glitches and stuff. The screen when you saw the clock. So you saw the screen, or is it just bugging? I'm doing it right now. Are you pursuing a degree or something? Hell no, I'm not. Are you? Dental student? Dentists make very good money. Freeze, but now nothing happened. Okay, okay. Did you read what Chael said? What did Chael's son say? Well, so I might wrap this stream up in 1 minute. So if you have any other questions or anything else you want to say, you've got 1 more minute to do it. 1 more minute starting in 15 seconds. Go back in a bit and chat and you'll see. Okay. Okay, man, I think I'm gonna end this stream here. So, I might go live. The first thing, Hamza said to Chael, was my grappling good, brother? Okay, okay. I'll be live tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I'll be live. Maybe tonight, but probably not. But I'll be live tomorrow. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.